Put on those bell bottoms, let your hair down, and let's groove in Headlander, a game from the masterminds at Double Fine Productions, published by Adult Swim Games. I'm Wise, aka Thomas, and I'd like to invite you to join me in this retro-futuristic, side-scrolling action-adventure game set in a world inspired by 70s science fiction. Be sure to check out my other reviews on the channel and watch me live at beam.pro/wisegamer. Oh, and this did come out last year in July of 2016. I meant to review it then, but due to being in school and everything, got a little bit delayed. Sorry for the late review. Welcome to the world of tomorrow. The future, a utopia for humans who have all gave up their bodies to live in robot exosuits that allow them to be immortal, free from disease, free from harm, but free of choice. They are not as free as they thought. The evil AI ruler Methuselah has taken over the utopia and has actually enslaved humanity, being able to control these robot-human hybrids. You are humanity's last hope, possibly the only person with an all-human head, able to make your own free choice still with free will, preserved in a futuristic space helmet that resembles the head jars from Futurama. You must land on various heads, hence the name of the game, Headlander, taking control of these robots to move through the world, take down Methuselah, and free humanity from her control. When you start the game, you're merely a head in a helmet, able to fly around through a propulsion mechanism within the helmet itself. You get to pick to be either the hero or the heroine, and along the way you have Earl, this voice in your helmet, leading you. In kind of an RPG style, you unlock these various abilities and skills as you play through, and you go down a skill tree menu that expands out, which allows you to do more abilities like rip heads off robots that are walking around and take over their bodies, or have more durability so you take less damage from different phasers and things like that. Early on, you're introduced to the core gameplay element that acts almost like a light puzzling mechanic. Various security doors have these color codes that will only open for guards of the same color. So for example, if you want to get through a red door, you need to take over the red body of a red robot security guard. Using his phaser, you can shoot the door with the red phaser basically, and then you can walk through. There's these different access levels or security levels, so some of the higher ranked colors or higher ranked guards will allow you to pass through lower ranked ones as well. So as you go through, I believe there's 5 different colors, so 5 different levels of security, and that acts again as a puzzling mechanic where it's like, okay, I can get through this door now, but I can't get through that one, so I need a higher clearance, so where do I get that higher clearance to get through here? That will unlock more areas of the world to you as you move through, and you can collect more quests and missions that way as well. So through this means you get to progress more and more, going through side quests, talking to different citizens, unlocking abilities, finding secret areas, and moving through that way. Visually, this game blew me away. Double Fine Productions did a fantastic job setting the theme as this retro 70s futuristic world. It's really a complete environment, a complete package here that's well polished, and you'll hear me say that throughout this review. Throughout your travels, you'll come across these disco dance parties, robots with afro heads, bell bottoms, and so much more. The 70s disco theme is through the entire game and really is fluid, whether it's through the visuals, the audio, etc. The detail in the phasers, the robots themselves, the environment, the destructible elements in like the cover that you hide behind, it really is just perfect, and I couldn't have asked for much more. Again, very, very well polished game. As mentioned with the visuals, the audio sets the scene perfectly from the start with a retro feel that's groovy, hip, and makes you want to boogie. Take that soundtrack and match it with great voice acting and you have a winning combination. Earl, the voice that's in your helmet that kind of guides you through the whole game, he was casted perfectly in my opinion. The scripting and lines he used are just well done, great voice acting. Your character, again, whether it's a hero or heroine, is a mute. You can't talk at all, and you know it's kind of a funny, they do a little bit of comedy mechanic with that. So you don't get to speak as a character, which is kind of adds to the game, again with the comedy portion of it, but all the citizens, or kind of robot citizens I guess, including the little robot dog citizens, they all have their own little voices and they have some character behind them too. They actually have a little bit of lifeness to them, which was great. Finally, the sound effects are great too. I mean, overall they did an amazing job here. Whether it's the blasters, the destructive environment as it's destroyed, they're ripping the heads off the robots, it just all sounds right and it's a really pleasant experience. Now, replayability is one area where the game's really lacking. So it's fairly short overall. You could probably beat it in a day or two, depending on how many hours you wanted to put in. And even if you wanted to 100% the game and get all the achievements, probably still aren't looking at too long of a game experience. I mean, it's very, very well polished, and this is definitely where that phrase quality over quantity comes in play. For me, at $20, I think it's still worth it, but I might want to wait for it on a sale if I was going to do it again. Just because, you know, it is a very enjoyable game from start to finish, with good boss fights, though they are kind of few and far between. Good side quests, though again, they're kind of not as plentiful. And really, I mean, 100%ing the game and being an achievement hunter isn't necessarily my thing, so once you beat it once, I don't know how much you'll want to come back to the game, other than just to see, you know, if there's any other secrets that you might have missed. If you 100% it, then there's really not a reason to come back, in my opinion, other than to just, you know, I guess enjoy some great sound and some of the comedy that's in the different parts of it. So while this is fine to have a completely linear storyline that doesn't have replayability, again, it just doesn't leave much to come back to, though, and for me, a lot of value comes from that replayability. So overall, I definitely suggest picking up the game, if not at full price, at least on a sale. To me, it's worth playing through due to the high quality and the polish of the game. Again, it's not much replay value, but, you know, unless you're an achievement hunter or the 100% person, you'll have a very fun time just playing through the story the first time through, and this kind of Metroidvania nostalgia that comes back. So really, it's a fun world, great environment, complete polished game from top to bottom, very linear in that sense of, again, you know, not having things to come back and do other than the little side quests and hidden areas you can find. But outside of that, I still recommend the game. So with those things in mind, before you make that purchase, I'd still recommend it. So as always, I have all the relevant links in the description below. You can watch me play this and other great games live at beam.pro/wisegamer, where I've been streaming. And otherwise, guys, I really appreciate you watching. I've been Wise, aka Thomas. We'll see you next time.